Hey guys, Kargath here, and I want to take a moment to talk about a strategy we're going to start working on for Redshire specifically. So right here we're on Strat Sketch, and we're going to take a look at the initial deployment we're looking for. This is going to be mostly defensive here on the south side, the green side, and the initial setup will be 7 Super Conquerors, 2 EBRs, 2 E100s using the small guns, 1 Kranvan, 1 Sturzfarm 103B, an Object 261, and a GWE 100. Alright, now to specifically go over the positions here. We're going to start here in K1. We're going to have these two S Conquerors right here. The reason they're here is there's a hold down location, and they will have shots going right here, controlling the church. So if anything tries to come down, there'll be nothing that can ingress on them down south. This Object 261 here in the corner will be taking out shots, preferably try to counter artery anything that they have. If there is no arty, they will be taking as many shots as they can on anything that comes over here towards the Zeppelin on the 890 line. Now, our two EBRs will be, of course, running east and west, trying to get initial spots on anything here and initial spots on anything going towards the Zeppelin. These four S Conquerors are going to be holding this ridge line. The beautiful part about this ridge is they have shots on the crosses here. They have shots on anything coming up here. And of course, they have shots going across this ridge over to here, as well as the S-Conks right here will have shots right there. Now, controlling this center position is key. Same reason why we have these S-Conks down here is to protect this. Now, the reason the GWE is specifically over in this corner is to help protect these four S-Conks. This GWE's main purpose is to be shooting right into here, right into this little F1 area. Nice 30-second reload. The idea is to punish anything trying to shoot these S-Conquerors in the butt. Obviously, S-Conquerors can get behind this rock and defend themselves, but we want to dig out anything that's trying to hide behind this particular pillar here with the GWE. Now, moving on to the last few tanks here, these E100s, Kron, and S-Conk. They are going to control this checkpoint. It's going to be, this Kron can get spots and shots on anything coming in here. Now, something specific about this Kron is you will be vulnerable to artillery. Carrying a spore liner, I would highly suggest you will take the occasional shots. But there's a massive dip here. You can get up and use your 12 degrees to get shots here, inside the Zeppelin, and even spot out here. You have excellent cover. If they start to overwhelm you, you can fall back. This E100 will have shots. This S-Conk will have shots. E100 will have shots. But the nice thing about these two E100s is they have shots right here and right here. So if any of these S-Conquerors try to push up onto the RS Conquerors, they have shots on those lanes. The Kron has shots here and here. S-Conk has shots here and up here if they try to push over. So as you can see, we're trying to interlock fields of fire here, where this and this are covering each other, all in here, as well as the G100. This Sturv, being the last tank, will have shots up into here, up into here. Now, if they abandon the west side and purely go east, this Sturv will go over here, so he can have shots up into here. This Sturv is going to have to flex back and forth between these positions as needed. All right, let's go in and take a look at some of these positions in the map itself. So you can see here we're loading in at the start, and the first position we're going to look at is in the K4 area right here, right behind us. This is where the Sturv will be sitting, is back here in this position. Now, there isn't really a hull down, as we'll see. However, the Sturv's excellent concealment and the fact that it's going to be quite a bit away from everywhere else is going to make it very difficult to spot as any tanks attack unless they get very close. So here we go, moving on out. So the Sturv is going to go right here up into this bush line, tree line here. You can knock down trees if you want, but in all honesty, the cover's so good, I wouldn't bother. So now that we're here, we can see you're going to have shots looking at here, anybody coming down low. Shots up here to the ridgeline with anybody here at the ridgeline. And obviously you have shots down here looking into this city area if they attack here. That being said, if attackers come from the Zeppelin side, this Sturv will have to go, rotate, and go down there to this small bush line right here, the K7-8 area, and have shots up into the Zeppelin. So next, we're going to go to the K1 Super Conquer area. So 2 super conquerors specifically at the start will be called, and you're going to roll out along this red line as quickly as possible. Now the key to this position is you need to get there quickly. If you don't get there at the beginning and they get very aggressive here on the west line, you can be shot making this crossing. So the second you spawn, that's essentially going to be the 2 most west super conquerors are going to move here along this, right along the red line, right along K, and you're going to end up winding yourselves over here in this dip as we get down into it. The object 261 will also be around here or in that dip back here to protect themselves. But these 2S Conquerors, your job is to protect the 4S Conquerors up on the hill, and you're going to use this dip here to shoot anybody coming down. If they come through there, you have excellent shots as they round the corner. Or if they try to come through the buildings in the church, you have excellent shots here. Remember, you will be a little, vulnerable to artillery, but the idea is to protect these 3 locations so that those S-Conks can't be shot at. Next, we're going to go take a look at the location up here on the hill where we're going to have our 4 S-Conquerors basically in the center of the map, and this is going to be basically we're trying to defend you. Comes down to we need to protect these 4 S-Conquerors. The 2 EVRs need to spot what we can so we know if they're moving in here, if they're moving in the church, or elsewhere. So these 4 S-Conquerors are going to be moving up to this ridgeline right here. The beautiful part about this ridgeline is you have shots going towards the Zeppelin, you have shots up here, and you have shots over here. Now, if tanks get up here into this position, you will be vulnerable from the side. However, you can move up to this rock and become safe from them entirely. So if 2 S-Conks here is one where I'm at and one's up here, you'll be completely safe from any shots. You can, in fact, with some safety, come up here and fire at them. Obviously, if people are attacking from here, you can't. But from here, you have shots into there. You have shots over here. You can obviously poke up, have shots along this ridgeline. Not to mention, if you come down here, you will have shots going over to the Zeppelin. You can use that rock as cover and that rock as cover. But you can come up and you shouldn't overpeak like I am right now, but you end up having shots down here into this crossing. You have shots over here if they come up high. And obviously if they ingress, you have shots way down here. Now, moving on to the GW's position. The GW is going to end up being positioned way back here in the corner. Now, the key about this position is that it can cover into where that S-Conk is right there and get beautiful shots into them. Well, let's go over there and take a look. Alrighty, so the GWE, from wherever it spawns, it's going to need to hustle on over here as quickly as possible. Now, we've tested this. If you knock down some of these trees, you have amazing cover. You get up here, or even all the way up here to the top, you're going to have great shots from here, all the way into here. You have shots into here. You have shots into here. This is an amazing cover. But F1 is your super focus. Anything there must die, or at least be punished for sticking around. Now, moving on to the last few positions, we're going to have an S-Conqueror, Kron, E100, E100. So first and foremost, we'll cover the S-Conqueror position. The S-Conk can come up here to this little ridge and have great shots on anything coming in. Obviously, if you have great shots into here, great shots into here if you come up, but also something key to remember is you have shots not all the way to that ridgeline because they're out of your render, but if they come down here into the city, you have excellent shots as they cross, excellent shots as they would come here and here into these S-Conks. Now, the E100s positions, we're going to have one E100 who will be at this building, and this E100's position is very, very key. He can side scrape off this way, he can side scrape off that way, he can side scrape to protect himself up here. But he has shots almost all the way to that ridgeline and that entire field he can shoot at. If someone comes up here, he can shoot at them, and if anybody comes down here to try to get the Kron, he has excellent shots. The next E100 will be up here, a little bit more aggressive, but very similar, where he's going to have shots if anybody comes over this ridge, not to mention can peek if needed, but he can also fall back and take shots right here, right into this ridgeline, at anybody attacking the Super Conquerors. Then last but not least is the Kron, and you're going to be a super focus because you're going to be incredibly annoying. Artie is going to try to dig you out, so if you're that Kron, put on that super heavy spore liner, defend yourself against those HE shells. Now, the beautiful part of this position is the Super Conqueror's got this lovely 10 degrees of depression, but it just can't quite work it nicely. But if you're a Kron, you have incredible shots here. Incredible shots up to there. If they try to come up to either that hill or that hill, you just can shoot, shoot, shoot. And they're going to try to dig you out. So just remember, you have this whole dip. Look at this. You can back up here. There's nothing they can do. They have to come over this ridge line. That way, the E100, E100, S-Conk, if anyone tries to aggress on you, you're protected by the other 3 tanks with those great DPM. And you can come up here, bang, 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 dump your clip, just come back into hiding. So that's going to be our initial deployment on Redshire. This is Kargath. Thank you, and I'll catch you out there.